Ladies and gentlemen, today we kick off the 2020 fundraising campaign for the United Way and the many people who rely on the united efforts of this agency. We recognize that with the changing times and current situation, this is an important year for the community collaboration and support, as there is indeed a need in the community. The United Way vision is a community with a strong social service network where individuals can develop their potential for self-sufficiency and personal well-being. And with your help, this will not only be a vision, but a reality. We miss being together in person, but we are united by local love. Stay safe, stay strong, Kingston. On behalf of His Worship, Mayor Brian Patterson, Council, and the City of Kingston, let the 2020 United Way campaign commence!
Hi, I'm Brenda Moore, and it's my pleasure to tell you about the Food Sharing Project and how the United Way helps us do the work that we do in the community. The Food Sharing Project is the organization which provides the breakfast, lunch, and hearty snack programs which operate in 88 elementary and secondary schools across the regions of Kingston, Frontenac, Lennox, and Addington. In a typical school year, we would support about 16,000 students, which is almost half of those registered in our area. Every week, we deliver $12,000 worth of nutritious food like fresh fruit and vegetables, grain, dairy, and protein items right to school doors. Our programs are available to any student, regardless of need, and provided in an inclusive, caring environment. Schools can choose from a variety of models based on what makes sense for them and the availability of space, as well as the needs of students and their volunteers. They can have a sit-down breakfast, which usually happens before school starts, hearty snacks, which are available in classroom bins, or grab-and-go lunches. Some schools do a combination of all three. The volunteers who support our programs are usually teachers, educational assistants, office administrators, and sometimes custodians. Children come to school hungry for a variety of reasons, and educators as well as research tells us that when they can access fresh food at school, they are more able to engage in their learning, they have a better ability to focus on tasks, and more likely to have positive social interactions throughout their day. You know how you feel if lunch is just a little bit late. Imagine a child who is struggling to do all the really hard things that we ask them to do at school without having had breakfast that morning, and for some, dinner last night. I'm a retired principal, and one of the first questions that I would often ask when a student came to me off the yard was, when was the last time you ate? And if the answer was yesterday, we would go down to the Food Sharing Project program and get something to eat before we tried to tackle the problem that the student came to me with. Students tell us that the food they have at school really makes a difference for them. Younger students tell us the food makes them feel happy, and that they ask their parents if they can have apples like we have at school. A grade 5 student once told me that he wasn't sure why, but math was an awful lot easier to do after he'd had something to eat. Secondary students tell us that the food they pick up on the way to class just helps them get there. Last year, a school coordinator in a secondary program told me about a student who was putting a lot of milk cartons into his backpack one day. When she gently inquired why, he said he was taking it home to his siblings because school was the only place they got fresh milk. In Kingston, there are so many families who are working really hard to make ends meet, and the cost of fresh fruit and vegetables and dairy is just out of reach for them. So if we can feed their children at school, they will hopefully have the money left over to pay the rent and the hydro and put gas in the car to get to work. Last spring, when schools and workplaces were closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Food Sharing Project shifted to a home delivery model. Logistically, there was an awful lot to figure out. But we knew we had to, because the children who counted on us at school for their nutritional needs were just at home. With the support of the United Way, provincial and federal funding, generous donors, Rotary clubs from across the region, and an incredible team of volunteers. We provided a fresh food delivery, a box of fresh food delivered to family doors or monthly grocery store gift cards to almost 600 families from April till the end of August. Every week, our drivers heard how much families appreciated this support from their community. One family referred to it as their luxury box, and remember, it just had in it food like apples and oranges and cheese and milk and bread. Just the basics, really. When we receive our grant from the United Way, we go right to the grocery store or to a local supplier and we purchase the food that children need to access what school has for them, whether it's remotely or at school. You can be confident that your donation to the United Way will stay right here in our region and support students and their families. We believe that it takes a community to feed a child. And in this community, we are grateful that we have the United Way to help us all live with a sense of hope, dignity, and belonging. Thank you so much.
I am honored and proud to be your 2020 United Way KFL&A campaign chair. On a personal note, I've been involved in the Kingston Police Workplace campaign since 2010, and have been a member of Women United since its inception. It's been gratifying to see how generous and caring our community has been and continues to be through United Way donations. Such generosity is essential to enable the continuation of the valuable services provided by so many agencies. I have witnessed the differences that these agencies make in our community over my career, as the role of our police service expanded from traditional law enforcement to one that responds to non-criminal issues such as mental health and addictions, homelessness, and poverty. The Kingston Police value the investments made by United Way in our community partners, and this collaborative partnership has allowed police resources to be redirected to other core areas of police response. The year 2020 will forever be known by one adjective: unprecedented. The added challenges brought on by COVID-19 pandemic and the resultant declarations of provincial and municipal states of emergency include job losses, layoffs, and business closures. This has altered the landscape in how we can support our community, as well as highlighting the gaps where our funding dollars are most needed. However, new opportunities arise from crisis. In fact, that is where the United Way got its beginnings back in the day. The United Way was created to address local issues, and it's been heartwarming to see our community come together to help those in need through the COVID-19 Response Fund. These efforts have been augmented by $900,000 from the Government of Canada's Emergency Community Support Fund for distribution into the KFL&A communities through the United Way and the Community Foundation for Kingston and area. As in the years past, we continue to have an amazing campaign committee that's been working tirelessly through these difficult times. The United Way never sleeps. This year, we will find new ways to connect to our community, and the members of our 2020 campaign cabinet have already demonstrated their energy and excitement in this regard in the lead-up to today's kickoff. Digital virtual platforms will be widely practiced. Speakers will share their stories on how United Way funding has impacted their lives by utilizing video, Zoom, and other workplace platforms. Seeing is Believing tours will be virtual, with agency speakers as guides. Panel discussions with subject matter experts will replace custom tours, and in-kind contributions will be key, such as volunteering for food drives, reaching out and connecting by phone with those who are isolated, participating in the Day of Caring on June 12th, and by focusing on the positive local love in action, local love in response, and local love in recovery. Because 2020 has been an unusual year due to public health and safety restrictions, we will not be able to host our annual kickoff breakfast in person. As you can see, this is all being done virtually. I would like to thank all of our workplaces for sending their messages and photographs to be incorporated into our virtual kickoff breakfast. I would also like to thank the children who will be participating in announcing our campaign goal. The goal is an ambitious one, considering that we will be losing a large source of contributions for many events we are not able to run due to social distancing restrictions, as well as the economic impact COVID-19 has had within our community. This year in particular, we really need people to give if they can give. We are counting on everyone who is giving to give a little more. We recognize that many in our community need food, shelter, counseling, and support to get through these difficult times. United Way KFL&A funding focuses locally on anyone in need. In other words, the money raised here stays here. In 2019, there were 42 local agencies delivering 71 programs that benefited from United Way funding in 3 community impact areas: helping kids be all they can be, building strong and healthy communities, and moving people from poverty to possibility. In all, just under 60,000 individuals were helped locally in 2019. We have a strong foundation of support from so many volunteers, donors, and supporters, and we are asking the community to come together and build on that foundation. We are all in this together, and no one will be left behind. So, without further ado, I'm calling on all our children to get ready to help announce our goal by getting ready to hold up their numbers in their respective homes. The goal is $2.9 million. I'd like to thank everyone for watching our 2020 campaign kickoff. Throughout the morning, we will be having different videos of various people who would normally be speaking at the breakfast. There will be more on our website, through email, and social media channels throughout the day. Thank you.